Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start in a couple minutes. We're just going to wait for a few more people to join our webinar here. I also have a few announcements, so we'll do that beforehand as well. I wait another minute even after 4, just to make sure that we have some people.
Yeah. Does it tell you who all's on?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Familiar names there.
Webcams always throw me off.
I
look there and I look like I'm looking up.
Yeah. Same. But it's pretty good quality.
Yeah.
Right, folks? Hopefully you guys could see us. Yay! Thank you, Daisy, for letting us know that you could see us both. Well, it's 4 o'clock, so how about if we start with the announcements? This will also give us time for folks to come on to the webinar. Well, good afternoon. Today's webinar is called Napco 2019 Fall and Holiday Garden Trends. And again, we're just going to wait for a few more minutes to allow other registrants to log on and get settled. But before we start, just a quick technical check. Daisy, thank you for acknowledging that you could see us. Could you guys see the slides? And could you also hear me? If that's the case, please raise your hand and to receive acknowledgement that you guys could hear us. Yay! Thank you, Allison, for acknowledging. So my name is Renato Sogueco, and I'm a business instructor at the Floriology Institute and moderator for today's program. And today with me is my co-presenter is Lesley Bolden, AIFD.
Hi.
We know that your time is valuable, so we're scheduled to go for about 40 minutes of presentation and 10 minutes of Q&A. We never stop at the Floriology Institute. So we hope you're following us on Facebook and are visiting floriologyinstitute.com for the latest news and blogs on really a ton of topics. We have several courses on tap in the following months. So right after Valentine's Day, from February 24th through the 26th, we are featuring a brand new course to help you become a better speaker called Speak Up.
That's exciting.
I know. And it features a very good friend of ours and a renowned floral industry personality, Sharon McGuckin, AIFD, AAF, PFCI. It also features Jackie and myself, and we'll also be instructors in this course. So you'll learn really from all of us the most effective presentation practices. For me specifically, you'll get a good dose, as you may assume that you guys know, for those that know me, of all the technology that you'll need to wow the crowds in your presentations. And from March 10th through the 12th, Floriology instructor Anthony Swick, AIFD, CFD, PFCI, will share the most innovative techniques in building the most trendy body flower designs in our Flowers to Wear class. So Anthony's Toll Pro, and you'll learn a lot from him. So for more information about all these courses and those upcoming for the rest of the year, visit floriologyinstitute.com/register. So just one last housekeeping note. If you have any questions throughout the broadcast, please type them in your questions tab on your GoToWebinar control panel. So are we ready?
I think so.
All right. So it's about 4:03, and we do have folks on board, and I'm sure that we'll have more folks coming on. So again, my name is Renato Sogueco. I'm a floral business instructor here at Floriology Institute, and with me is the lovely Lesley Bolden.
Hello.
You are the lead designer here at Napco.
I am.
And she has, a ton of research, put together this great presentation and for all these trends. So I think we want to address a few questions before we get started. Of course, it's not going. Let me click that. There you go. So, trends.
Yeah.
Where do these trends come from?
Some of them kind of pop up onto the scene out of nowhere. Some of them have a really long lifespan, and really it's just kind of doing your research, looking out there, and looking to some of the professionals that'll do a lot of the research for you.
Like you.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Come to me, come to Napco. When I start to look at trends and what we're going to use for the line and everything, of course I always go to Pantone because they're one of the more well-known leaders. But even within them, you have to look at your area, and you have to look at the trends in your area, because trends are going to change from the northeast to the southeast.
So regional regions have an impact.
It is. So it's staying on top of what's going on in the trendier areas and incorporating that into your looks to be able to show your customers that you are on top of the trends, but then also giving enough of what you know everyone in your area wants. And a lot of ways that you can do that is even going to places like Hobby Lobby and Target.
And just looking around, right?
Yes, because they're some of the main, they have a whole team of designers and people who research this stuff, and once it hits those shelves, it's mainstream. And
then most of the folks that they're getting their information from the same trend resources. So you'll probably see a consistent pattern of these trends when you start shopping and looking around these stores. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is it important to my retail store? And we were just talking right before this how, as florists and as floral businesses, I think it's really important that you portray yourself as a trendsetter.
Right.
That's how you may want to distinguish yourself from the competition. That, if you have a command of these and you're able to, talk about these trends very comfortably and allow your customers to really picture these products in their lifestyle.
Right.
Is a great way to market and merchandise your business.
It is, and it's only going to help yourselves. And you don't have to have every item in your store be at top of the trend. Like I said, you want to have what sells in your area and what works for your clients. But by having those items just tucked in here and there that are really on trend and maybe are new and people aren't seeing yet, it's going to make people want to come to you to see what's next and what can they look for next.
So we have a massive variety of trends. So how do you take the trends and incorporate them into themes that are more usable?
When I look around at the different websites that I research, Pantone, or when I'm walking around the stores, or I'll walk market too to see what other companies are doing and what they're selling, I really try to pay attention to what my eye keeps going to and keeps seeing everywhere that I go. And then I want to take that idea and I want to build off of it, and I want to make it mine and make it unique so that Napco has something different to offer than every other company. So I think the key is just to look for those items, look for those patterns, those icons, those colors that you're seeing everywhere, and then give it a little twist and give it a different look to make it your own for what you're doing.
So on the screen, I'm going to flip back and forth between the 10 trends that 10 themes that have been put together by Lesley and her team. And these are the themes that we'll cover during this webinar.
Yeah, and even just kind of looking at that when you're flipping back and forth, you can already see a couple of colors that are being used in different ways and in different themes, but with different colors mixed with them that gives it a whole other look.
So let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, Winterberries. What inspired this particular color palette?
Neutrals have been really popular. Grays have become, I think I've said this in one of our other webinars, I was reading a paint, I also look to like Sherwin-Williams and different paint companies to see what they're saying the colors of the year are. And I was reading this article on paint, and it talked about the graying of America. And I was like, it's so true, though. I mean, it's kind of like become the neutral.
And I have to admit, I do have Pantone 1C and Pantone 7527 on my wall.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, and then everyone, it's because it's safe, and you can have it for a while, and then you can pop your other colors into it. So with this one, I really wanted to give the feel of a winter snowy scape, using all of the natural grays and taupes and whites, and then popping in that crisp red, because it is Christmas, and red is the hot color for Christmas, always and forever, always will be. And I just thought it was a great stark contrast, and the red just really pops against. I mean, even in our showroom, for those of you who haven't been able to come in,
it pops out.
We even painted the walls almost like a soft gray white. And you would think that the white would disappear against the white, but it doesn't. It just makes all of the red just that much more interesting and vibrant.
So what are the components of this?
Well, because I was kind of looking at a snowy scene, a really great seller for us all the time is cardinals, red cardinals. And with them having the right color and the right look, I was mixing them with birch, with fir. I introduced a lot of polar bear icons just to give that whole snowy woodland forest feel.
So Coke has obviously been pushing the whole
polar
bear theme
right,
with the red.
Right, I know.
So that's kind of continued, and that's incorporated in this.
Yeah, and like I said, the birch bark, anything we've done in that for the last few years has been extremely popular, and it's something that can transfer over to non-holiday seasons as well.
So what kind of products from the Napco line are available in this theme?
We've actually introduced a lot of cool stuff here. We've got our resin cardinals, as you can see in one of those arrangements, do fantastic. We've got a lot of iridescent and metallic red finishes, a lot of smaller containers that work really great for like a florist to do.
And I see one container that's awfully familiar.
The mason jar, right? I know. Like, when is that going to go away? It's funny because like it's still doing well, and we have recolored that thing in every color you can possibly do, and every time I'm like, okay, it's done. It's not going to work, and sure enough, it does amazing. But the metallic red has really done well with the mason jar, and it's just such an easy shape and a good size to put an arrangement in, so it works really well.
Yeah, these are great examples. Thank you for putting those together. So how would you display, as a florist, these products in the shop or merchandise in the storefront?
I think once you put your theme together for your store, and when we put our themes together, it's really awesome when people come in and they're like, okay, I want to take this exact theme and I want to redo it in my store. But not everybody does. Like I said, we have some color schemes that are in one theme, and then I'll have a red with a gold, red with a white. So you can take bits and pieces of our themes and create your own. But I think in your store, the display that goes with it really should drive home the idea that you're going for. So with this one, I really wanted that winter feeling. So we used big birch poles, and we had cardinals hanging in trees, and we had snow on the ground, and it kind of immerses you in the feeling of the look. So I think that's really important, and I think it helps sell the product too, because then it gets people excited about the feeling when they walk in.
So speaking of winter, Pinecone frost, inspiration?
Blue was my inspiration, actually, because it's been so big lately. It's been such a popular color in every season. And with this one, we also, for garden, had done for 2019 a theme called Indigo Element. And when I think about a shop and cross-merchandising and buying products, I wanted to have a theme that the Indigo Element pieces could be worked in with Christmas to be able to, extend the life of that product and not have to pack it up and not have to put it away. So we brought in a lot of aged metals, a lot of dark distressed wood, rust finishes. These are all elements that we had in our garden theme as well. And then we mixed it in with the Christmas elements of deer and forest animals and tree icons. And
so although we have here woodland deer, it's like really woodland animals that can also be incorporated.
It is, yeah. We brought in some owls and some deer, and then to give it a little bit more of a holiday look, we added in the snow and then put a little bit of copper and bronze accents, some things to kind of give a little shine because metallics have been so popular. So
still, right?
Yeah.
So what are some products that we should be looking out for in the showroom for this?
Anything that's going to have the mixed metals is really big. Mixing the galvanized with the rust. Mixing the wood with the galvanized, mixing it with the rust, like any kind of combination to give the container interest and just give it kind of that rustic feel, I think is really big. A lot of distressed woods, too. We brought in a couple of items like the snowflake on the screen. It's actually a wall piece. You can use it as a wall shelf. You can put it, like we did an arrangement around it for a centerpiece or an event, but just having that distressed edging on it and that aged black color.
So just a quick question for you. I see a sleigh and the snowflake. Are those icons?
I did use the snowflake as an icon in this theme. So when you're looking at the catalog or if you come into one of our showrooms, you will see that snowflake shape on containers, on wall pieces, and yeah, I think it turned out really nice.
Cool. So on the florist, I'm ready to sell this in my shop. What are some selling points for this particular theme?
I think it's kind of what I was saying about the cross-merchandising. I think the customer itself, when they come in and they want an arrangement in it for the holidays and they want it to look Christmassy, there are a few items that could be used all year long. So they could bring in something and you could do a centerpiece for them for Christmas, and then once the holiday's over, it's not something that they would have to pack up as well. They could plant a plant in it and put it on their patio or in their house or at their office. So I think just so
this is like not overwhelmingly Christmas.
Exactly.
But has a Christmas feel to it.
It does, yeah, and it's using a lot of natural materials, which those are really popular right now. A lot of the barks and woods and different metals.
So Christmas Remembered, what's the inspiration behind this color palette?
This one, I wanted to do something fun that was like a mid-century, 1950s Christmas.
I got that feel.
Yeah,
for sure.
and aqua and the red combination of colors has been really popular as well, and I thought this was the perfect place to use those colors and get that feel that I was going for.
Well, you know, as soon as we turned to the slide, I thought of the furniture color.
Yeah, that mid-century,
So let's talk about the elements used to convey the theme here.
We've brought in a lot of retro icons. The little deer that look almost cartoonish, you know, that you used to see on Christmas cards, and
some of those cartoons too, right?
Yeah, and some of the little like whimsy snowmen, you know, that are dancing around, and we brought in a lot of that, a lot of craftsman materials, things that look handmade, things that, because you know, back then people did make a lot of their Christmas decorations, they didn't always buy them, so it has that handmade look to it and that quality. And then different things like the bottle brush tabletop trees, those are a lot of fun. We had fun with those too because another big icon in this look is the red truck that's been so popular.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we took a lot of the tabletop bottle brush trees and put them in the backs of the metal red trucks and decorated with those everywhere, and it ended up turning out to be a really cute theme.
So, you know, we talked a lot about trends and icons, but, you know, for florists out there, what are some varieties that would complement the containers best with this type of look? For like the floral varieties? Yeah. I think here I like what we have, and I think Jackie made these arrangements. Okay.
But
we should give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Jackie Lesley, for putting these together, and we're just talking about it. Not a problem.
Yeah, giving that natural homegrown look, I think to me works really well on this with the cedar and the tree, and just keeping it really simple. We've got the hypericum berries with the mixed Christmas greens, and I love the way in this arrangement he actually took the icon of the trees on the front of the container and actually replicated it in the design with the wire work, and things like that are a lot of fun. And by adding those extra little pops like the candy cane, you can keep the floral varieties simpler and not have a million of them, because then it's accenting all of these pops that you're putting on there. So
and with simplicity, it's easier to make things pop.
Exactly. Like you see the little wooden snowflakes so well because there's not a ton of stuff mixed in there. So I think that's kind of key for this look is, you know, and even back then in the 50s, like you didn't even have floral varieties available to you that you would now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like so many varieties nowadays. That's right.
Right. So I mean, a lot of it would be long-lasting, really simple designs. So I think, you know, if you're wanting to stick with the whole theme within everything, then that's a good way to do it.
So what are some ways that our florists could display this product in the store?
I think with this, it would be the same type of thing. Like make some handmade decorations, or, you know, cut out cardboard or paper circles and retro icons like snowflakes, and just make it really look like homemade and cozy. And I think that would just be a fun way, and it would be a really inexpensive way to do a really cool display in your store.
So this is a great title, Vintage Glam.
I love this one.
and I do like the colors just because I used to be from Washington, D.C.
Right.
Although I won't name the professional football team that is from there, those are their colors. Yeah. Nice. Well, so what are some elements here for Vintage Glam?
So here I kind of got on this blast from the past kick, I guess, this season, because not only did I do the 50s, but the 20s have been really...
I could see that.
Yeah, really drawing me lately. And I think a lot of it's because when I've been doing my research on trends, I've been seeing a lot of Art Deco patterns and a lot of geometric shapes, and it just kind of lends itself to that 20s Art Deco feel so well. And with the rich golds and the different shades of red, it's such a perfect holiday color scheme. So that's kind of where this started. And then I just added little things to it. You know, when I think of the 20s, I think of big parties and champagne glasses and martini glasses.
Always a party.
Always a party, you know, roaring 20s. So we brought in a lot of those types of accents, you know, with the geometric shapes. We brought the pearls in, because I always think of the girls with the big pearl necklaces.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we just, you know, it's just kind of like bringing the theme to life by just adding all of these little different accents.
So some product that we could share with our viewers here.
So we took some of those designs and brought it to the container. So like the gold container there, that's a big Art Deco pattern that was really popular back then. The fan shape. So we brought some of that onto the containers, and you know, we did it in a simple way so that it's not, it can go with any theme. It doesn't have to be a 20s theme. It's just a nice design with a gold finish that's really versatile to use anywhere.
Well, one thing about this look, I mean, it looks expensive. You know, I mean, truly, Glam is a great.
And it's got the glitz and the
descriptor.
glitter, and everyone loves that at the holidays. So it's got a lot of that.
So how do you market in the shop?
With this one, I would pretty much just glitz it up, as much shine, as much glitter. You could have a little machine throwing glitter from the ceiling, you know, but no.
And that still wouldn't be enough, right?
I know, right? Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just make it look like a party, like set it up that, you know, show people what they could do for their holiday parties, what they could do for their weddings or their events, you know, using all of these products, and set it up like a party within your store. And so not only is it helping you sell the products for the season, but it's giving people ideas that, oh, well, I might have a Christmas party, or I might have a New Year's party, and I really like what you did here with that, so maybe I want to replicate that. And so I think it'll help, you know, get you more sales.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's deck the halls. What's the inspiration here?
Deck the halls, the inspiration is classic Christmas. We do a lot of resin sculptures here, a lot of Santas, and they're really big sellers for us. And so they're always the traditional Santa figurines with the traditional Christmas trees. One trend or fad that I've seen going on for a while now is this buffalo plaid, and it's
I see that.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, some of my designer friends and I were joking that helped me out in the showroom setup. We were like, okay, buffalo plaid is here. And you know how we know? Because someone wore pajamas in Walmart the other day with buffalo plaid on it. And I'm like... And
then my wife definitely bought me a shirt with that pattern. It was a different color scheme. But and then I asked her, did you get this on clearance, or is this really in?
Right, and I think part of it, too, is because of, like, the 70s and 90s kind of grunge is back in fashion now, and plaid was always such a big part of that, you know, that decade. So I think... For real? Then I should just resurrect some of my old clothing. I know, like Doc Martens are huge again, Birkenstocks are huge again. I mean, like the 90s are pretty much back, you know. So you just have to wait 20 years and you're in fashion again. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we went through the 80s, you know, like a few years ago. Now we're in the 90s, and I think that the buffalo plaid's a great way to show that you're on top of the trends, and you see those, and you see the repetitiveness of it. And it is taking something from the past and updating it again and making it fresh again, because the younger generation, they weren't there for, you know. Yeah, so it is new to them. It is new to them. And that is a big, huge buying market. Right after the baby boomers, unfortunately, we skipped my generation of Xers, and then we went straight to the millennials. But the millennials is such a big buying group that you have to start. You have to introduce things to them. And it may look old to you, but it looks fresh to them. That's right. So I see that plaid is in one of our examples for some product that's... It is, yeah. We brought it in ribbons, we brought it in containers, and we also brought it in on some of our, like, plush fabrics and things. We've got the little gift boxes in there. Those are like a little pick that we sell. So the other thing I did with this is I really, because of that red and black on the buffalo plaid, is I used black as the background color for the entire showroom. So it really makes all of those traditional Christmas colors and all of the golds really pop against that black background. And so that's a nice addition to your shop that you could do, is have some sort of black furniture or black backdrop, you know, that you could work in there to make everything pop. I'm sorry. So you did mention merchandising ideas. Any other merchandising ideas for this particular trend? At the shop? Yeah, this one's just such a classic one. I really think it's going to be more of the products themselves, because most of the products within this theme are a little ornate themselves, so I don't know that they need too much in the background of them, but just like a classic Christmas tree, Sitting by a fireplace, think of like, cold evenings, sitting indoors, drinking whatever you want to drink.
Like that. It's a nice vision that you're describing.
Right, laid out, waiting for Santa to come, waiting for, the presents. So that's kind of the feel of this whole theme.
Very cool. Just warning, we're about 31 minutes into the webinar. I have a feeling we'll go just a little bit over. So I know we said 40 minutes, but if you guys could stick with us for maybe another 5-7 minutes,
and
we'll probably cover everything.
We'll quicken it up.
Okay. North Pole, what's inspiration?
So North Pole, actually, in our showroom, I did this theme right next to Deck the Halls, and they kind of play off of each other. And the way that I did it was everything that's in Deck the Halls is the true traditional classic look.
So this is the modern?
A little bit, and it's got a lot of the LED lighting and a lot of the,
very cool
the LED's been hot lately and selling like crazy. So it's got more of a whimsy feel to it. So it's basically the same type of color scheme, same icons, it's just a different feel. Not so traditional, a little more updated, and a little more light and a little more color.
Some products?
And you can see that in the products as well. It's whimsy, it's, it's not that classic sitting by the fireplace, it's more... So
let me ask, just looking at the designs, they do look more for millennials, is that the target market for this?
Yeah, it is. It's the younger generation, and it's and a lot of the pieces are fun and they're whimsy, and I think that's what makes it so much fun for the younger generation.
Well, definitely flashy and eye-catching.
Yeah.
Is that what florists need to do to really merchandise this trend?
I think so, and I know...
And that black and white base that you mentioned.
Exactly, yeah, and I know that our LEDs are selling amazing, so I think that's something that a lot of people are buying right now, and that's something that's worth looking into, carrying into your stores.
Gilded ice. More of that gray there.
This one is beautiful. This whole theme I put together based on how popular all of the air plants and the succulents are in everyday indoor gardening now. And it has all of those soft gray greens with the grays, and it's really beautiful. So a lot of our materials that we used in this is bringing in a lot of the artificial succulents and air plants and phyllanzias and that sort. And to bring it into the holiday, we just added a little bit of snow to them, added some sparkle to them, a little glitter, and it's really a beautiful botanical organic theme. And I hope people can come to the showroom and check it out, because this is a beautiful
the showroom is beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to visit us here in Jacksonville, Florida, well, I know that most of the country is under a very frigid weather.
Oh, I know. I was reading about that.
It's 60 degrees outside, just saying.
Yeah, it's not that fun. I'm in short sleeves.
Yeah, stop by. Please stop by Jacksonville, visit us. And see these trends in real life.
But yeah, so this one really is just all about the organics, all about the silks, the natural botanical living that's so popular right now, and bring it into the holiday season with the silvers and the minty greens and the grays.
Yeah, very, very elegant.
And we also brought in a lot of the acrylic light up as well, but the clear acrylic light up. So it gives it that frosty look.
Okay, we'll move to the next theme. Joy to the world.
Joy to the world is the reason for the season. This is our Nativity look. And like I said, we do a lot of resin sculptures here, and so for us and our customers, this is a huge trend for us, and this is one that we have to put a lot of emphasis on every season. And in the past, we've done a lot of Moroccan colors, a lot of golds, playing off the wise men, and this time we kind of took it down a notch and added some wood textures, added in some unexpected colors into Nativity sets and themes. We added in some blues, since the blues are so popular. Still had some of the golds, but added in some wood to kind of, mix it together. And adding in that really glitzy gold with the wood, it has a really great effect. And it
so that's out, the result. Right?
Yeah, and it came out really, really nice.
Yeah, that's an interesting container with the patterns.
Yeah. So it's got a little bit of distressing, a little bit of, natural, but still that gold rub on top to give it that little shine.
So, yeah, like the distress.
Yeah.
So how are the florists merchandising this in their shop?
This is pretty much kind of like with our resin Santas. The items themselves are very ornate and very busy. So the simpler the display for them, I feel is best. So I would bring in, pieces of wood, hay or just natural elements that give you kind of that that manger look, you know, that natural stable feel.
So I guess we're moving out of fall, or winter,
Yes.
getting into fall. Fall gathering, tell us about this.
So we always do fall every year, but I've noticed that fall seems to be declining a little bit, or especially true fall from what people are buying, and I think it's almost...
Is it like a shorter kind of season?
It's like a shorter season, and I don't think people are investing as much in items for that, because you have Halloween, and people love decorating for that, and then it's like, oh wait, let me take all that down, get fall up real quick, oh wait, I gotta take all that down, and I gotta get Christmas back up. So what we did with this one was brought in a lot of what's selling well in the garden stories, which is the galvanized metal and a lot of the woods, and we brought that into the fall theme to kind of tone it down a little bit. But again, as I was talking about before with the cross merchandising, it makes it so much easier to still have a presence of fall in your store, because it is still a popular holiday for florists, because people are going to want centerpieces and they're going to want things for their Thanksgiving table, and it's definitely not something to overlook. But by buying containers that have that fall rustic feel, but that could be kept around all year long and used at garden as well, allows you to pop in a few key components of true fall product, and it gives you an overfall feeling of the holiday.
So when you say true fall product, you're talking about color?
Color, like the rich orange, the rich yellow, adding in those fall leaves icons.
So fall will always have those traditional colors.
It will, yeah, because I think what the season is the leaves changing colors, you know, falling down, so it's going to be all those warm, rich colors. And then just adding the galvanized in the wood just gives it a nice look. And we also added in like a creamy white color to tone it down some. And for some reason, it makes like I used to always think that white would suck the color out of product, but it doesn't. It actually makes these fall colors pop even brighter. And the nice thing about the more muted colors with the whites and the creams is it also not only allows you to reuse your products and keep it up, but it allows it to go further into the holiday season as well, because it doesn't have that fall.
So it's a good way to merge into
into Christmas, because then you could even pop out some of the oranges and stuff and then add in something more Christmassy that matches kind of the creamy whites, and then it extends the life of it even longer. So that was a big goal for me with this theme. So
the theme is really like a modular theme, where you know it could easily adapt as you go along and later into the season.
Yeah, and I think when you're
something new,
when you're buying things, you know, a lot of people think about that. You know, how can I get the most out of my money? You know. That's
true. I mean, you know, that value is important to a lot of the consumers today.
Yeah.
So how do they merchandise this in their shops?
With this, we actually have some really great items that I used, and we have these galvanized fall leaves, autumn leaves, and so we just had them strung from the ceiling, hanging down, and they look like that, but they're actually hangers, and they're flat pieces of metal that are shaped like oak leaves. And so we just gave it a look of a fall day with the leaves falling down, and we had some, we brought in some of the eucalyptus into it because that's been a really popular greenery lately, and it also has that soft kind of gray-green color. And yeah, so it just kind of has like this farm, hometown look to it. And it turned out really nice.
So we have just a few more trends to go through. But before we conclude, we do have a Q&A at we actually have one trend, right?
Oh, one left.
Is it one left? Start thinking about questions about any of the trends that have been presented so far. So after this trend, we're going to slide right into our Q&A. So just as a reminder, throw your questions into the questions control panel in your GoToWebinar control panel. So our last trend, right?
Yes.
Halloween.
Halloween is brand new for us. This is the first season. I think years ago they used to have it. And I'm a huge fan of the holiday.
And I think a lot of people, because it seems like the Halloween celebration is growing.
I think so, yeah, I really do. And so I've been, you know.
It's not just for kids anymore, too, right?
No, I've been pushing it for a little while, and they've let me do it this year. So fingers crossed, because I love it, and I think it looks great. And I wanted to, you know, bring in some of the really popular icons that I see out there right now, and one of the ones that I see everywhere all the time, not even at Halloween, or sugar skulls. I mean, they're just so popular, and I think it just has to do with the bright colors and the floral patterns, and And like I said, like even during non-seasonal times, I see them on T-shirts, I see them on stickers, I see them everywhere.
Well, I definitely enjoy Mexican food, and I want to say every Mexican restaurant in Jacksonville that I frequent has the sugar skull as part of their decor.
Right, because it's from the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think, but it also brings in all of those colors, and it doesn't just stick to the red or the orange and black and white, that you would normally think of for Halloween. So I did a lot of containers with that, and I did a lot of succulent containers, little ghosts, little pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, the sugar skulls, and then just bringing in some of those elements, the spider webs, the skeletons. But I didn't want it to be like freaky. I wanted it to be more of like a eclectic vampire, like
so a little bit of a vamp
elegant,
look into it.
Yeah, something and I think it turned out really cute. And I think we have a lot of great products in there. We've got a lot of LED items that light up, a lot of containers because our company has a lot of florists and growers that buy from us. So I wanted to make sure that I was reaching everybody. And so yeah, I think it turned out really cool.
So let's check out some products.
A little goth unicorn.
I see it, yeah.
Yeah, so these are both smaller containers that can hold succulents. And I think the great thing about this is, they're low-cost items. They're a lot of fun, and, you can put them around your house during the holidays and not feel like you've spent a fortune on something that you're just going to have to take down in a month. And then the sugar skull ones you can keep up all year long, too.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit is the whole steampunk thing, too?
Yeah, which that's actually kind of getting a little bigger lately, too.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that unicorn, and I'm just looking at the collar.
And the unicorn, it was funny because I was in China, and I saw this at a factory, but it was a candle holder, and I'm just like, oh, my gosh, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I had them turn it into a succulent container for us. And
cool.
Yeah, unicorns have been so popular lately. They've been everywhere, like with the kids and the tweens and even for Christmas, I got my niece a poopsie slime surprise unicorn. It's a unicorn that poops slime, anyways. So
I've seen that.
Yeah. So they're just so popular. So I'm like, okay, well that might be a fun addition.
And it is amazing to me how something so gross could be so popular, but
yeah,
that is
I know.
a thing.
I don't get it.
Okay. So how do our florists merchandise this for the holiday?
I think Halloween's such a fun holiday for adults that everybody is like interactive and gets into. So I think having like sounds and having
so like the frightful sounds and all that.
Yeah, like making it
setting
like
the mood.
Yeah, an experience is always fun for Halloween, and I think that helps people get into the spirit. And it's the same as when you go to the stores and they're pumping Christmas music and cinnamon, and all of a sudden
it gets
you're
them
like,
in the mood.
Yeah, I'm ready to buy presents, and so I think that's a good way to go about it.
Cool. So. You could download more information you could download this trend report at bloomnet.net/trend report. And what we'll do now is we'll stick around for a few minutes in case you guys have any questions. But if you do have any questions, sorry about that, I'm flipping around slides. But if you do have any questions for either myself or Lesley, go ahead and email me, and I'll make sure that Lesley gets the questions. And my email is Renato, Renato, @floriologyinstitute.com. So we'll go ahead and wait for any questions that come in. But I just wanted to thank you, Lesley. Excellent job putting together these trends, and
thank you.
Especially putting together the themes. That way it allows you really to enable the marketing and merchandising on your end, knowing that you just really need to follow the themes to start selling all these products.
Right. And then with these, there were videos.
Oh, that's right.
Are those all available now?
They're all available. If you go to YouTube and you search Napco Imports, you will hit the Napco channel, and all these trend reports, the videos for the trend reports that have Lesley really doing a show and tell right in the showroom.
Yeah, so you can kind of see, visually some of the things that we were talking about in the trends, and it takes you through the showroom for each one. So.
All right, we do have a question here.
Okay.
What trend was the top seller at pre-show and at the market?
I always ask the salesmen and everyone who works the market afterwards, because I'm always interested too. And normally they're always like, hands down, this one was the top seller. This time they said that they were busy in every single room in the showroom, which is pretty amazing to me. I was just kind of like, wow.
That's a lot of top sellers.
Yeah, and I think that was the most response that I got. I probably, if I had to narrow it down from what got the most response, it would be the red and the white Winterberry. Did very, very well, and a lot of people responded to that one, as well as the classic with the buffalo plaid. I think that one was really big too.
So that's interesting. Like the traditional stuff was really in.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, and like I told you, you know, when you're looking for trends for your area, you really have to look to your customer base. And we do have a very classic trend customer base here at Napco. And so, you know, I always keep our themes somewhat classic, and then just pop in those fun, updated accents that are kind of different and new and set us apart from other people.
Any other questions, guys? We'll wait. How about this? We'll wait another 30 seconds, and if we don't hear anything, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But again, I'd like to thank you all really for spending the time, and I know it's getting busy prior to the big holiday coming up, to get to know these trends. And like what we mentioned at the beginning, it's really important that you know, you absorb and get to know these trends, and then transfer this knowledge onto the consumer, as you will certainly appear to be the expert and trendsetter in your local area. That will definitely distinguish you from the competition. All right, let me see here. One more question. Okay, it's really a compliment. Thank you very much, Sandy. Great job.
Thanks, Sandy.
I love how you extend the trends with everyday containers as well.
Yeah, and I think it really is helpful too, and it allows you to, you know, have something that's, you know, a good backbone for your store that you can keep all year round, and then spend some money on some things that really trigger it towards Halloween, trigger it towards fall, trigger it towards Christmas, to kind of switch it up a little bit.
Well, excellent. Again, thank you very much, and thank you for attending. Again, here's the link to download the trend report, and hopefully we see you down here in Jacksonville visiting the Napco showroom.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.